demeanor, cool, almost exuding the feeling of let's get this over with, move on to the next step to get me closer to a title shot. And if he wins tonight, it could be one more hurdle for Donovan Razor Ruddock. A lot of his fans here from Toronto. The Blue Jays are in town to play the Cleveland Indians, so many here at the fight to cheer.
大家好，老师从业中医男科30余年，帮助了数千名海内外华人朋友通过中药调理重回男性雄风。如果你也存在房事时间短、勃起无力、硬度差、中途疲软、肾虚、前列腺炎等问题，现在就加中医老师微信574-993-200，纯中药，一人一方，治根治本，帮助你持续坚挺20至40分钟，补肾壮阳，延时助勃，彻底告别快男软男。记住微信574-993-200。
Convocation Center at Cleveland State University. We are getting set for our main event. Let's go up to our ring announcer, Wilma Schmidt.
Ladies and gentlemen, would you please rise for the singing of our national anthem, sung by Gene King.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and the bright stars through the perilous fight, for the ramparts we watched was so gallantly gleaming, and the rockets red glare, demons bursting in the air, gave proof to the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave over the land and the free and the hope of the brave.
Ladies and gentlemen in attendance and sports fans joining us from around the world tonight, welcome to Cleveland, Ohio and the Cleveland State Convocation Center as Don King Productions in association with Murad Mohammed 3M Promotions presents the main event of the evening. This event is sanctioned by the Ohio Boxing Commission, Commissioner Joseph Gennaro. The physicians at ringside, Robert Radu and Clarence Higgins. The timekeeper at the bell, Frank Tomorrow. The keeper of the knockdowns, George Whitbread. And presenting the judges at ringside, Doug Patterson, Richard Stewart, and Kathy Terrell. The referee in charge of this bout is Tony Perez. All right, boxing fans, here we go. The main event, a heavyweight bout scheduled for 10 rounds. Introducing to you first, in the blue corner, in the black trunks, hailing from Miami, Florida, he weighed in at 217 pounds with an undefeated record of 25-0, 23 by knockout. He is number 9 ranked WBA and WBC heavyweight contender. Please welcome Philip Jackson. And his opponent across the ring in the red corner wearing white trunks, fighting out of Toronto, Canada by way of St. Catharines, Jamaica. He weighed in at 233 pounds, and his record is 26 wins, 3 losses, and 1 draw with 19 knockouts. Please welcome the number 1 ranked WBC heavyweight contender, Donovan Razor Roddick.
We get the most important rules of the training, right? Now, don't forget, 3 knockdown rules in effect, and you must forget, give me a good clean fight. I will not go neither one of you. Remember 2 things: obey my commands and protect yourself at all times. Shake hands and good luck to both of you.
Final instructions from referee Tony Perez. There is Philip Jackson with Pat Burns. He's the sergeant from the Miami Police Department. And Razor Roddick, the number 1 contender, the slugger, the man with the big left. They call it the smash. But let's see if he implements more of what Floyd Patterson has been trying to teach him. Work some jabs, combinations, throw the right to the body, get the better balance, go to the footwork, and let's see how it works out.
Remember, Jackson not too impressed with being in front of Razor Roddick because he worked with him in Miami, so it's not like he walked out there and got scared by this huge guy, but he still got to perform in front of a big crowd here. He's never faced anybody with the kind of power and with the kind of prestige and high ranking that Razor Roddick has. Let's see what effect it has on him.
Jackson said he wasn't invited back to spar with Roddick because he looked too good. I asked Razor about that. He said he didn't remember him, and Delroy Roddick, his brother, his manager, reminded him that, yes, indeed, Philip Jackson worked twice as a sparring partner with Razor Roddick.
Right now, he doesn't give any indication he has any desire to have an offense there. He's just picking off jabs and looking at Razor Roddick.
On Wednesday, Roddick told us he'll be trying to work more of Patterson's stuff in. And he is not taking any chances tonight. He's risking his number 1 status. Jackson told us he thinks Roddick is taking it too lightly and looking ahead. And when I asked Roddick if heavyweight champ Evander Holyfield was avoiding him, he answered with a resounding yes. He said he's not taking any chances. Oh, what a right hand! A right hand, I underlined, by Razor Roddick.
And that was the Floyd Patterson right hand. He set it up with a nice, brisk left jab and then popped it right over, just like Floyd teaches.
Well, remember in his last fight with Greg Page, Patterson was pleading with Roddick to use the right more. He may not have to do much pleading if he continues to do it that way.
Well, if Jackson doesn't start fighting back here pretty soon, they're going to eat him up, because you just can't fight picking off punches from a superior big man like this. He'll just come right through you.
Jackson fighting most of his career as a cruiserweight. His last 8 fights as a heavyweight, all knockouts. Solid blows by Roddick. Jackson looking to answer back.
He better answer back, because he's just going to eat a lot of that leather and end up on the canvas if he doesn't fight back some. Right now, he looks like he is frozen. He looks like he is absolutely impressed with where he's at and not loose at all. They got to do a big job on him on the corner if he makes it to the corner.
Jackson has not worked up much of a sweat, and that's not a good sign. And it is intensely hot in here.
It's hard to sweat through ice.
Ruddock looks like he wants to set up the right hand.
He's positioning for that right hand, and Jackson should be doing something to get him off his game plan. He should be throwing some counter right hands of his own. There's the bell.
You can throw the right hand, you can do anything behind the jab, but keep the jab in his face. All right? Quick jab. And that will discourage the hell out of him.
Let's take a look at that picture-perfect right hand. Watch the jab, jab. Now, here comes the right. Whoom. Just like Floyd teaches. It's a miracle. That didn't take him. And then comes an uppercut to just drive home the lesson that he's in with a championship fighter, championship-type fighter. And Razor Ruddock has driven home 2 strong points and won that round big.
A very concerned look on the face of Philip Jackson as we begin round 2, scheduled for 10.
I'll say this. He took 2 punches that could have floored him. He stayed up, so he's got a little something in his jaw. He has never been down. Jackson has never been knocked out, so let's see what Razor Ruddock can do to that record.
And Ruddock really an imposing figure. Goes 6'3", 233, has the big reach advantage. Philip Jackson said he's going to have to get off first, but that's not the case so far. Looking to wait his turn when Razor, or if Razor, is ever off balance.
Right now, this is all Razor.
Oh.
This is just a guy waiting for the roof to fall in on him.
Well, Jackson has had to fight many bigger men in the past, so he said that Ruddock's size is not a concern. He has the basic tools, says Jackson.
What is a concern is the superior technique of Razor Ruddock and the way he's landing clean blows from a very big man like that. Makes for short evenings.
Well, Ruddock fighting 2 courageous matches with Mike Tyson, going a total of 19 rounds. In the first fight, he really rocked Tyson, but the fight was stopped prematurely by Richard Steele. That's when Tyson said Razor punches like a mule kick, and I cleaned that up for you.
Yeah, I think there was close to what he said.
And in the second meeting, Ruddock's jaw was broken by Tyson in the 4th round, but Razor went the distance anyway. So that has to tell you something about him.
Yeah, he has heart, he has size, he has speed, he has everything to make a heavyweight champion. All he's got to do is have the opportunity and then produce on that night.
And Greg Page showed heart, even though he lost, stopped in the 9th to Razor Ruddock. We asked Pat Burns about Philip Jackson's ticker, and he said he's got a heart like a racehorse. So we'll see what develops. A glancing blow by Ruddock, not a solid shot. And a good left jab there by Philip Jackson.
Yeah, he's got to get on track. He's got to start doing something of his own. There you go. He's got to start coming back at something, or else this is going to be a one-way shutout.
You look at Jackson, he's got the short, crisp movements, good reflexes. A left and a counter left by Jackson.
Yeah, Jackson, as we've seen on the tape, has one-punch power. And he's dangerous. He's always dangerous. He comes back in very unorthodox moves, even though he's well-schooled in basics by Pat Burns.
He's got the effective jab, but Pat Burns said it's been hard to get him to use it more frequently. And that is it for round 2.
Breathe. Much better round. Much better round. Breathe and relax. Breathe and relax. Okay, you found out one thing in that round. You can't get to him with the jab. You got to him. Jab looked much better that round. You got to him. You also staggered him a couple times. Okay? We need a little bit more offense out of you. The jab is, you found your range. Now we just got to execute a little bit more. One of the things that I like that you did in this thing is you're moving a little bit
Just keep the jab out there. He falls for everything.
Be patient. Okay. Step around. Okay. Move around him. Use that jab. Just concentrate on the jab. Double it up, move, slip in. You know what I mean? Relax. Don't go for the one big.
Well, we may be looking at a jab fest coming up. You heard both corners. Pat Burns says, well, if there's one thing you learned from round 2, you can get to him with the jab. There's the jab by Jackson. And then Floyd Patterson urging Ruddock to use the jab more.
And he forgot to say one thing. You be first. With the jab, that's what counts. Ooh, a solid shot.
Heavy left there by Ruddock. Ferocious.
And look what Jackson put right behind it. He came right back with another hard punch. He missed. But you could see he can punch. You can see Jackson's power. He's got one punch power. And that's dangerous.
Jackson facing his first world-rated opponent tonight. Out of the PAL gym of Pat Burns in Miami. Had some minor brushes with the law as a youngster, but turned it around. There's a lunging left hand by Ruddock. And now Philip Jackson instructs kids in that same gym where he got so much great instruction. Won the Florida Golden Gloves title 3 times. And the national PAL title lost on decision to Tommy Morris.
Incredible that Jackson with that extremely short arm span, but he wouldn't let us measure. He just said, I have the wings of an eagle. And I took his word for it because he's bigger now. But he's got very short arms. And he's still getting to this very tall guy with a jab. Tells you something about his reflexes. And it tells you something about Ruddock is not paying attention.
And what's also incredible, he's the same age as Ruddock, but he started fighting at the age of 21. Oh, a crunching double left hand by Razor Ruddock. But Jackson hanging in there tough. He's got a great chin.
Great chin, and he came back with a heavy punch. Boy, there is no dog in Jackson. He came back with a heavy punch, and he took some hard shot. Well, I would think there's going to be some heart palpitations going on in Razor Ruddock's corner, because from the way this guy's throwing those punches, if one of those things connect, it could explode on the chin of Razor Ruddock, and his championship ambitions could go right out the front door.
Wild left by Razor Ruddock. And Philip Jackson is certainly not intimidated. If he was by this environment before, not now.
I just wonder what keeps him up, because he's been hit by...
Oh, and down he goes on cue.
And that's the answer to that question.
He gets up. Was that right in the solar plexus?
It was hard to tell. We have to see it on replay. It was a very hard shot.
Right in the chest area by Razor Ruddock, and down went Jackson, but he got up. He seems to be okay. His eyes are focused, not that bloodshot.
He'll make it to the end of the round. And just when we were saying that he can really take it, he got nailed. Let's listen to Pat Burns.
Breathe and relax. Breathe and relax. Okay. All right, Phil. What's happening is, when he gets into range, you're not firing. You're allowing him to set up. You understand? He's moving into range. You're not firing. He's setting up and he's getting off. Phil.
Let's take a good look at that and let's see what dropped him. Well, that was a punch right on the head. That was not in the solar plexus. So it was right on the jaw. And let's take another look at that. He cocks his arm and down he goes. I mean, that is a picture-perfect punch. And as if it's not enough to see it in 2 views, let's look at it from the 3rd view so it convinces you beyond all shadow of a doubt. He should have gone down. He did go down, but he got up. And he didn't get up in bad shape, by the way. He got up firing himself. Let's see what he does this round.
Round 4 scheduled for 10. We'll see if Jackson does have the heart of a racehorse.
Well, Pat Burns could have motivated him, said what we learned that round was that we can get up from a punch.
Yes. Another wicked left by Ruddock there to start off the 4th round. Our backs were to that punch, and from our vantage point, it looked like it was to the solar plexus or chest, but it was actually to the head.
Right on the jaw, right where it should have knocked him out.
Oh, a solid left by Philip Jackson.
And a good punch by Oh, by Razor Ruddock. You see, he's been taught when Razor drops that left hand with that sweeping hook to fire immediately. That was his training plan. He just executed it for the first time then. See how he drops his hand to punch?
And back comes Philip Jackson, tagging Razor Ruddock. And that gets the crowd going, rooting for the underdog. Jackson very feisty.
He's a gamecock. He's a gamecock. He's in here to fight. He is not taking anything from this big guy. He's coming on.
And you know what Ruddock's doing? He's reverting back. He's using the left hand.
He certainly is.
And that's what boxers do sometimes, don't they? They revert to what's comfortable for them.
That's what everybody does. You go back to what works for you before they start teaching you something else. In anything.
And that has to be frustrating Floyd Patterson somewhat. There's the smash. It's a half overhand, half hook. Some say the best left hand of the sport by Razor Ruddock. Overhand right. That was defended well by Ruddock.
Well, he's not winning anything but respect here, is Philip Jackson. He has been in every round, tried very hard, got up from a tough knockdown. He almost went down again.
He's staggered. Down to one knee is Philip Jackson. Second knockdown in the fight. He's out. Tony Perez counted to 10. Jackson never got up. Here in round 4, it is all over.
Well, he gave him a good fight. He was brave. He certainly looked like he was overwhelmed by size and the pinpoint accuracy of a major puncher like Razor Ruddock. But he did not freeze. He came out. He gave it his all. He can go back to Miami with his head held high because he really did put on a show of trying hard.
I was very impressed with Philip Jackson. Donovan Razor Ruddock, though, knocks him out here in the 4th round and lifts his record to 27-3-1 with 20 knockouts. His only losses, 2 to Tyson, 1 to Dave Jaco back in 1985. And a show of sportsmanship there. So the slugger, Donovan Razor Ruddock, stays number 1.
Well, he's certainly impressed in that performance. He was fighting a smaller guy, but a really gutty guy who has a great deal of heart and a great deal of iron in his jaw. But nobody can take that kind of pounding. Shots from a big guy like that, nobody can take.
And Floyd Patterson goes over to give a consoling tap on the shoulder to the loser, Philip Jackson. Razor Ruddock, his older brother Delroy Ruddock, right there on the right of your screen. It's all in the family with the Ruddocks. So what's next? Is it Lennox Lewis in late October? Is it one more hurdle to get to a title shot? Time will tell.
Let's take a look at that final punishing series of punches. I think it was 2 punches that really finally did him in. He caved in on the first one, and then it was just a finisher by Razor. I'll say one thing, Donovan can finish you off when he gets you. There's a good hook, and he's gone right there and comes back, waiting the uppercut, crunches him down. It's kind of a crumple down, and I think his better senses took over and said, I think I better not get up.
And it really wasn't one of those fights where you say it's just a matter of time with Phil Jackson, because he was hanging in there.
Yeah, that was a better view of the hook. You could see what damage it was. Actually, that didn't land as hard as it looked. It was just that long, looping punch that did it, and a wear down. He's just was worn out. Let us go, for sake of mercy, to look at it the 3rd time, so there's no doubt that that was one of the hard hooks of the evening, and that the second one was unnecessary.
And Philip Jackson went down to one knee, never got up, as Tony Perez counted him out. Donovan Razor Ruddock shaking hands with his fans, many of them coming from Toronto. A very personable young man who has his sights set on a title shot someday soon in the near future with Evander Holyfield. His promoter, Murad Muhammad, alongside. standing by for the official time of the knockout. Let's go to our ring announcer, Wilma Smith.
Ladies and gentlemen, let's have a round of applause for both fighters. Referee in charge, Tony Perez, stops the bout at 2 minutes, 12 seconds of the fourth round for the winner by knockout, the #1 heavyweight contender in the world, Donovan Razor Ruddy.
Stop and see them down.